Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Erudition Generations, the show where we try to talk to our generations. Sadly, we don't have a generation.
Simple. Is the scream of a person who forgot Elliot.
Sadly, as I was going to mention, I was going to mention that, Papa. We don't have a generation. Sadly, we lost one generation.
Yeah, we lost him to a bad hair day.
Yeah.
Truly tragic.
Although you can see my hair is done. Yeah, I like.
Yes, all who are here were spared of that horrible effect known as bad hair.
Yes, I am very happy with this haircut. My mother made this haircut. It's pretty. Yeah, but anyway, haircut trimmed it up, except for Ellie. What? But what we have to do now is I'm trying to figure out. StreamYard's doing a lot of stuff. Hold on. Well, dude, that's the wrong. Here we are. Okay, StreamYard was doing some stuff. We're having weather right now, which is nice considering how it used to just be dry out here. But it's
I wouldn't say it was exactly dry. I'd say it was cold and dry.
So let's talk about It's still dry. Let's talk about the topic, but first we need to wait for people. So, Papa, let's continue the milkman. Or
yes. Let's do continue with that, because to be fair, before I thought about this topic today, which I will talk about once we get a little bit more people or get a little bit further in time, I was thinking about how many weird jobs there were out there. And the answer was there was quite a lot. Like, for instance, the milkman wasn't even the worst person. At least he had a purpose. There was a dude.
I love that, we haven't been on, but yeah, we didn't even address the fact of the other shows haven't been on either. Mom's show wasn't on. Dad's show wasn't on.
And they'll talk about it when they get to it, Teddy.
And instead of that, we rush right into the milkman. The audience hasn't seen us.
That's because, Teddy, you got to get right to the hook of the episode. Think about it. People don't go and be like, oh, this person's been gone. They're like, what's the first thing they're going to start talking about? What have they been talking about when they're not doing stream? And lucky for them, I have blessed them with the knowledge of what we've been doing. We've been looking into all sorts of things milkman related. And you can thank us for our research. For these are very intriguing facts.
Oh yeah. Questions. Why? I almost forgot to tell Mom. I almost forgot to tell you.
See, Daddy, like I said, Mom and Dad have it.
Life happens. It's been a time because we haven't been on. But y'all want to discuss. Y'all said the topic was peace, and y'all moved into the milk.
Yeah. All right. Now
we have to wait for people. But before,
we already did. We're at the 4-minute mark, Matthew. That's an episode for another time.
Before we continue, I would like to say, make sure you follow our Facebook and Twitter. Wait, now it's X now.
Twitter.
Our TikTok, our Twitch, and make sure you subscribe on our YouTube. And I would like to say next week I should have the PowerPoint completely done, and it should take a whole episode to review. If it doesn't, that means something went wrong, and I will have to kill him. I didn't do it. You did it. I can't.
Exactly. Can't point to me. I'm invincible. I am like the one side character that no one notices, gets hurt, and comes back multiple times. I am immortal. And in all honesty, I have not been proven wrong yet.
But luckily, it should be coming out. On this today? There will be another disclaimer because there will be more graphic pictures. Hopefully, there won't be gore. No, it's just going to be scars at best.
In that case, thank God today is the peace episode, because I I'm not even about to open the cookie jar that is that. But nah, we're here to hold up. All men are immortal?
Yes, yes,
I mean, they have a soul, an immortal soul.
yes. But
Yeah, I don't know about that. I believe some people are just mannequins that walk around for my entertainment.
what about women?
Mannequins for your entertainment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Think about it. When you see a bunch of people on a stage, are you thinking these are actual people? No, you're thinking, man, Hamilton got bars.
What would happen if you became mannequin?
But yeah,
Well,
let's get to the meat of the episode. We gonna talk about peace. Now,
peace
you might
and
be
war.
thinking, nah, we ain't talking about war. We gonna talk
Yes,
about peace.
war is might be next episode, but today just
Why
peace.
would war be the next episode? You talking about a PowerPoint? You gonna go like,
Hey,
here's the
it's
peace
going to
episode,
happen
here's
back.
the war episode.
Papa, we can't talk about terrible things without talking about war.
You know, July is coming.
Oh yeah,
Independence Day.
Independence? Why you mention this, Teddy? Did you find oil?
Trying to think.
if you
Continue
did
the-
find, if you did find oil,
No.
But yes, we're here to talk about peace. And that's because of the fact that earlier this morning, I was thinking to myself in a doze stupor when I was looking for coffee, realizing that coffee doesn't work, so I needed tea. I thought to myself, if a genie existed and somebody wished for world peace, how exactly would this come about?
it would end terribly. The genie would say no.
Yeah, but what if he says yes?
Okay,
For
let me tell
instance,
you, no more free will. That's what happens.
yeah, that's your opinion. Teddy,
I
what do
don't
you think?
deserve it.
Teddy, what do you think about it?
Genies have been known to trick people. Not everything's like Aladdin. It's been known that they are very wily with their wording. Like, oh, you want world peace? He might decide, oh, peace, huh? And decide to tear the earth in half or into pieces. So you have to be very specific. And it goes into what's dividing it between peace. Well, a lot of people would argue that it's the class system.
And what
So
if it's
what?
love?
Then what? Everyone's just broke. Everyone's poor. Everyone hates everyone. There wouldn't be any racism if everyone hates everyone. Just for
We're
no
talking
good
about
reason.
peace. You mean that don't sound like peace? That sounds like the worst possible outcome. Because you can't
Exactly.
have peace if everybody
mess
hate
with
everyone. That's just
You don't go around messing with genies. What's
Yeah, so-
wrong with you?
Yeah, so Papa, basically, let me put it like this: what if the only thing separating the world from world peace is love? Genies can't grant and wishes about solving love. So
Yeah, you can't make people fall in love.
I
That
mean,
is
yeah, I guess. But think about it like this: those are y'all opinions. But but in my opinion, he might do the opposite. Because think about it: what if he's like, you know what? I got an idea. Because think about it: what if you wish that he understood
Hello there.
everything? Hey, Eric. But think about it: what if you wished your first wish before you wish for world peace is that he understood everything about that you want from the wish? Because think about it, then there would be a different outcome. Because think about it, if in the furthest reach of your mind, you're thinking world peace is getting rid of half of the world, half the world's population, like Thanos. You know what happens? Out of nowhere, you get a Thanos situation, and every single person is just snapped off into existence. Or you go like, if only everybody could live together, that in a snap, all of a sudden, every single continent is shoved back together, and now nobody can cause any sorts of wars without, well, any sorts of nuclear wars without dire consequences.
either way, it would be a cosmic event that
But it would be technical peace for a minute. Because think about it, you didn't say peace for a long time. You said peace. That's what you asked for the genie to do. You wanted peace.
yeah,
There would be peace.
The
Papa,
chaotic good situation. You know.
all right, Papa. Let me put it like this. So let's say you ask for world peace. And the genie grants it, and everything's good for 12 years. And then for some
12
reason,
years. That's a very specific time, Matthew. Did you wish for this before?
let me say 12 years, 19 months, and 26 hours. Yeah.
Go on.
So
What horrible thing happened after this?
So you know how nukes are already built. How do they dispose of it?
You don't.
That's a simple answer, Matthew. The best way to get rid of all nukes, toss them to the sun. No dire consequences could ever come from that. Trust me. Scientifically proven by me, Dr. Papo.
So Papa, in 12 years...
In the world of chaos.
Papa, 12 years, 27 months, and 27 hours later, those nukes should approximately be disposed of if shot up into space. But they won't have enough fuel for that. So it will fall down, causing the world to go into pieces.
Buddy, here's the thing. We have rockets that have shot up into the air and have blown up and the debris fell back down to Earth. Do you know what would happen if one of those, let's get rid of all of that, and it explodes in the air?
Yeah, probably nothing.
No, it wouldn't just not be nothing.
All nukes.
It would be an immediate devastating problem.
Yeah, and
you're talking about blowing holes into the ozone layer. That's just for a start. The other thing, you'd have an EMP that knocks out all your electronics.
Oh yeah,
and everyone really relies on technology right now.
Look, I dare you about it. It'd be such a peaceful world after that.
Yeah, because there would be no more humans. And also, Tay, let me add on to your thing. And even if there was no debris, the shock waves alone and the toxicity would kill a lot of humans.
That's just one of the issues.
Right. You know what?
Because if you blow a hole into the atmosphere, guess what you just did? What's around Earth? A vacuum.
Yeah.
You blow off the atmosphere. What did you just invite?
Oblivion?
Exactly.
And
suffocation.
All right. In that case, let's go with what Dad said here. Let's go with what Dad said. After all, he did say all people are immortal. So why not just do that? Make everybody immortal.
Papa,
you can't die from anything.
So hold on, Papa. Let me say this. So let's say 19 years after you do that, and then 19 years, you have finally read every book on the planet, and then let's say more books come out and you read those, and then let's say 499 trillion years later, the Earth has exploded, and now you're drifting in space, wishing for death.
Yeah, you got peace. That's all that matters. See, y'all are escaping the point of this episode. I'm not talking about the dire consequences that come after. In fact, the dire consequences that come after are thoughts that surpass peace. So what I'm thinking about is the short-term peace. If you gain peace in any sense, then that's the point. That's the point here.
Oh yeah, Papa. I just remembered the other part. Sure, it would be world peace, and for approximately maybe 1,000 years later, you would be in pieces from trying to kill yourself in various ways.
I don't know why.
And the whole world would be joining.
What have y'all been watching? It's the only.
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking about peace, getting rid of everything that's bad in this world. Think about it. Glasses not causing you peace, get rid of them. The ocean causing you dread, empty it. The sun just somehow
Multiple
causing
bodies
you
from
to
Red
not
River.
be able to look up to the clouds and enjoy the peaceful rainbows. Get rid of it.
Red Ocean.
Just block it out. Peace, my friend, is found in all things if you get rid of enough things.
When I thought we were talking about peace, I thought that we were talking about
Multiple
How-
ways to get it.
how do we seek a peaceful state in the chaotic world today. Y'all went off into theories.
But Teddy, that's how you get it. Think about it. You don't get peace from working a job all the time. You don't get peace from sitting in a room playing games. You don't always get peace from everything. But there is, I believe, a way to get peace. Because you see, too much peace creates boredom. And with boredom comes the absence of peace, which I'm completely against here
Papa.
in this episode.
Papa.
What?
Oh, hold on. Let me give a logical reason. So basically, you want peace, world peace. Keyword world. So basically, you take every other nonsensical evil person, and then you send them to Mars, and after that, you have world peace. Nope, nobody else would be on Earth.
You still have principles. You don't battle with flesh and blood as your principalities. So you would still have issues and people. You be finding yourself sending a lot of people to Mars.
Hey, it would
Exactly.
at least be 1 millisecond of peace.
No. We thought
No,
about
I
that
think by
before.
putting all those people in a spaceship to an uncolonized and non-air giving planet, you would definitely cause more harm than peace. Because, hate to tell you, you're probably sending a bunch of people's parents and children up there to sit on a planet with no air, water, or anything.
I don't even know how y'all got
As I
came up
said,
with this.
1 millisecond of peace.
But no, what I'm talking about here is, because as I just said, boredom. With peace comes boredom. And as much as people believe that boredom is a bad thing, I believe it's a great thing. Because with boredom means that there is nothing to do. However, some people believe that in order to really enjoy peace, you have to do something that you don't want to do constantly, and then by constantly doing that one thing, eventually you'll gain peace. But the problem with this is that's the absence of peace here. Because what you're not thinking about is you're constantly doing this activity that you don't enjoy, and then on top of that, what happens when you have to do the thing? You're talking about how you're bored, and then something you don't want to do comes up because somebody goes like, well, if you're bored, then you have this you could do or this. The fact is, boredom is the fact that you are content with doing absolutely nothing at the moment, or enjoying nothing. But when you're go ahead, Matthew.
When you're bored, you're not trying to get anything productive done, and that could raise a problem, right?
No, not necessarily. You could be doing something productive, and that's why you're bored. Just think about it. Have you ever done schoolwork and thought, man, this is boring?
Yeah.
Ever played a video game and thought, man, this is getting boring? Watched a TV show?
The thing about boredom, if we want to get into that, y'all know Johnny Cash's rendition of the 9 Inch Nails song "Hurt."
Mm-hmm.
I believe y'all listened to that. There is a line.
Why?
In there's a line that says, "Beneath the stains of time, the feeling disappears." With me, that line always resonates with anything. It's not just love. It's not just pain. It could be
my dog.
It could be anything. Boredom is the state that you go into when there is an absence of, oh, I've been experiencing this feeling too long. That's kind of why you have a problem right now where, and the internet has not helped that, where you need the next biggest thing. Where at first, years ago, we should know, Papa, because we've had video games. As I constantly tell the little ones, our video games of old did not have memory. You would either complete the game and run sitting, and then you were shamed for that because it's like, why did you complete the
Loser.
whole? Exactly. Why did you complete this whole thing? You had no life,
Why did
no
you
time.
why did you complete this 12-hour game in one sitting?
And then you have what we have right now, games that remember. So it's a reward system of, oh, if I do this, I can come back later. Same thing with social media. Well, I can watch this or I can choose not to and come back later. The thing is that it doesn't work like that with most things.
I mean, to be fair, with the games that didn't save, you could have just kept the game on, did
And
whatever you were going to do.
the console.
No, and risk electricity bill.
Amber.
So, electricity game that you spent hours playing and are almost done with. Which one do you think outweighs the other?
Again, when your parents go, why is this on? Ooh, it's over.
Yes, it is over. The house is gone. The devices are gone. Your name changed. Everything that you've known and loved is gone.
So
The thing is that about the same thing happens with peace. If you don't believe, it is still a sense of boredom that happens with anything. Human nature and design, right? Because of stimulants. Oh, I don't like to do this forever. Now I'm bored. Now you move on to something else. It's also dangerous when you're talking about peace because no one wants to. It depends on how severe it is. They say that only true soldiers know peace because when you go through war, you kind of know it's not so bad to just be sitting in the house right now.
But what you're not thinking about is go ahead, Matthew.
So basically, the saying you just said is pretty good, but I have to explain for my generation and for myself. So basically,
Oh boy.
Let me put it like this. So let's say you've been playing a game in first 12 hours and you've been happy so long.
Where do y'all find 12 hours to play anything? But that's beside the point. Continue.
And then you hear this kid, it says he has to go to summer camp, and you know his life has always been bad. And then you think, hey, maybe I should try to make peace with the world when I grow up and kill a lot of people. But
I don't. This is
where is your mind with this?
Hold on. I'm just trying to explain. So basically, what Teddy just said is pretty factual and pretty wise. I cannot lie about that. So I'll just give a situation because that's what
The situation was solved. What are you going on about?
I'm just trying.
That is a good question.
I'm trying to solve it for myself. So
No, this is that situation where you don't lean to your own understanding because something has gone terribly, terribly wrong.
Exactly. Somewhere in your subconscious, you know what? I'm not even going to say subconscious. Somewhere in your mind, you have gone from there is peace without tragedy to tragedy makes peace, and that's all that there is.
So basically,
but there is that saying: if you want peace, prepare for war. However, the problem there's a lot of things of what peace were y'all talking about? Because y'all talking about a bunch of theoretical peace.
Let me talk about my peace. All right, my peace. Let me just put it like this.
I don't know what sugar you're on.
I ate 2 oranges before this, but and 1 during this. But so basically, let me put it like this. So let's say my peace is I want all evil people to be gone. In order for that to happen, I have to somehow convince them to either turn good or eliminate the threat.
Didn't we just talk about this in the X-Men show the last time that we were on?
Yeah, but think about it. We could talk about Disney movie peace. What's wrong with that? Think about it, because that's pretty much what Matthew said. Because there is a thought like that. You could turn any type of bad person good, and that would create peace. And because maybe that's something they lacked in their life. They could never find peace. But yeah, that is a good question. What do we define evil as? Because think about it. What a person might be doing might actually be lawful, and it might lead to peace later on. Because then you have to think about the fact of, because that's why I left peace. That's why I left the foundation of this episode's peace on such uneven ground, so that you could go ahead and ask this question: is the short-term peace more worth it, or the long-term peace? Because what are you going to get from it? You could get instant gratification and instant instant peace and have no problems at all. Or you could go down the long, tedious path that may never let you see peace, but others might.
I see. Yeah, I don't know where they're going either, Dad. From what I've heard, is the same thing. They think that peace is either distraction or a complete destruction.
All right, let me just add to Papa's thing real quick. So
exactly.
So basically,
I thought that's where this episode was going. Peace that you find to calm your mind through troubled times that keeps you going. Instead, or things that go, well, how do we get to a state of
I just explained it. What we're talking about here is long-term and short-term peace. What you're talking about is short-term peace. You go in your mind, you find your happy place, and you calm down. But that's short-term peace. You get instant gratification. You don't get long-term gratification. You don't get that peace.
Repression.
All right, but
the long-term piece that we could went into that. Like, how do we get to the point where someone can walk down the street and not think, is somebody going to do something to me? Will the cops think I'm not in this neighborhood? Will my neighbor go and say that I did something to her dog because I just happened to be outside on the wrong day? How do we get into peace like that? So, where we have a regular state of mind where everything is okay. I thought that's where the thing was going. Y'all went into genies. And
I have to get here.
Yeah, but let me real quick answer Tay's question. But first, I'm going to add on to Papa's real quick. So basically, Papa, peace can be described in many ways. And many people can and have their own version of peace. And I can't really say his name on YouTube, so we're just gonna call him H. Hopefully you can pick up on it. So H did all those things to the Jews because he believed in his mind that it was right. Or at least that's a theory that goes around, which was probably right. So he believed and did all those stuff.
Man's life is full of trouble, but he finds peace in times of calm. He will appreciate it. Exactly.
Yes.
That's basically what God is. There's evil in the world so that you can appreciate that there is good.
All right, but Tay, now time to answer yours. What you described previously was anxiety, and that is all.
What?
I have no comment on that. I will go back to what Dad just said, because I kind of agree here. Yes, a man's life is short, and it is full of troubles. However, when your life is full of troubles, there is only one problem. You, as Matthew said, you will become anxious and you have anxiety during those times of calm, because you're not because during those times of calm, in most cases, you're not because think about it. If your life is full of troubles and then you finally get a moment of peace, you're not going to be thinking about what
And then there's Uncle Eric.
yeah. But think about it. During these times of peace, you're not if your life was full of troubles, during these times of peace, you're not going to be thinking about, oh, it's calm and stuff. You're going to be thinking, why is it so calm? Why is it so peaceful? Because it won't make any sense. If I've had multiple problems and I've solved none of these problems, but all of a sudden there's peace, my mind is not calm and my heart is not calm either. I'm now thinking always of what's going on. What's wrong here?
Exactly, and I'm asking you, how do we get out of that without dreams or crazy mythology or theoretical nonsense?
All right, Teddy.
Oh, you took all the fun out of it.
Teddy, I'll put it like this. Some people will see it as impossible because even though you could solve all peace, there will always be that one person with a devil on their shoulder, saying, "Kill people, kill them all."
What?
More video games.
Nah, man. I'm starting to think that maybe that's what's going on with you, bro.
But no, there will actually always be, even if you get rid of all.
But
problems,
I get it. It's a devil on your shoulder, and that's his way of going into, because he believes that the worst thing that you can do is killing people. There's been much worse that's happened in human history.
No, I'm saying that so YouTube doesn't take this channel down. I could name many other things. Many.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I think Dad described it best here.
Or like
because
what happened during war. Yeah.
People can
war and death brought peace, but at the same time,
Napoleon, etc., believed that war and death brought about peace. The problem is, as we can see, that was not the case.
No, hold on. Technically, they were right for the most part. Because think about it. The Civil War brought peace. But it was was for a fraction of time. It is not constant peace. So to answer your question, Teddy, how do you get peace in the way that I've described it? It's simple. The question it's a simple question that comes with that. Do you want instant peace or do you want long-term peace? Because think about it like this. You could have instant peace where you could just shut all your doors, shut yourself out from all of existence and live in confinement and containment and enjoy enjoy every day and know that everything else is completely obsolete. Or you could go down the other path that many people are going down and fight for the peace that you want. Fight for the best outcome. But that means that it'll be a long time with a lot of troubles and a lot of stuff. Yeah, like the Bible. Because when you think about the Bible, you're not thinking about peace for the most. You're thinking about all these trials and problems that somebody had to go through, that each person had to go through in these times.
The Bible says specifically that when man says that there will be peace, you can always expect that there will be trouble. In fact, there was a saying, "Peace in our time," which brought about war. It did not end well. And then Matthew's head is, well, we need to eliminate all those bad people, including the Hitlers. There's a good decision.
But hold on, because I have something to say to that. Because technically,
what evil is with that? Because
think about it like this, though. Because as much as people always say that killing all the people who did all that evil is a good idea, I always think back to that one movie that came out, and you know what that movie is? Injustice. The Injustice movie. Because think about it. In the DC game, man. But as for the movie, it showed you. Because think about it. When Superman was sitting down playing chess, what did old boy come up and say? He started talking, and if you think, oh, why did he say old boy? Because I can't remember names. If you know, go ahead, type it in the chat. But I
Oh,
don't
why
know.
would you put yourself on blast like that? Though everyone knows.
Because I'm not trying to have somebody blast me out of the comments like, you didn't know. I'm saying, I didn't know. But anyway, when Superman is sitting down playing chess with old boy, he's talking about all the ways to obtain peace. Kill all the criminals who have caused multiple problems in the world.
Yeah.
But then old boy comes up and says, guess what? If you want that type of peace, you have to get rid of all guns. You have to get rid of stuff to harm people, for people to harm themselves with. You have to get rid of even the people who think bad thoughts. You have to pretty much get rid of every single person on the planet and every single thing in order to obtain it. Now, sure, technically he was talking about smoking and all that, but I elongated it for a little bit. But then you have to think about it, because later on in the movie, to show you just how this worked, later on in the movie, to show you, it showed you a bunch of people in a warehouse praising the Joker for all the tragedy that he caused.
Yeah, you're gonna
because
have
as much as
you're gonna have sycophants and crazy people.
exactly,
but
getting rid of bad
can't
people
just
is
go-
almost impossible.
you can't just go and whack everyone either. So
I wouldn't say that. I mean, look at
hold on.
Noah and the Ark.
So Papa, let me actually start.
yeah, there's been instances like that that have happened where you've had calamities like that even in the Bible. But the thing is,
hold on. Let me actually give reasonable responses to how I think you should go about trying to get peace. So basically,
But if you mention murder, then the thing ends. Because as soon as you get to murder, there's no peace. There is only the problems.
So basically, the first thing you want to do is, as you said, get rid of guns. But then I know what a lot of you might be thinking. Won't animals be able to mass produce and eventually outnumber the humans? And then yes, that has already happened. But as you can see, let's read comments real quick.
Yeah, probably best to mention. No, I did not mean that God wiped out everybody. Because, no, he did not wipe out everybody. He kept the people who were good. And even then, God has constantly done that throughout the Bible. He has saved the people the good few that were honest and actually had a chance, instead of just constantly killing off everybody.
If we want to get into biblical revelation, which is fine by me, yes, elimination is devastation. It's not there's no resolve in it. That was the symptom of God's wrath, because of people who were, the term for them is reprobate. They're not going to turn. They're never going to. You would think that a person that is outside of time has seen the timeline and goes, okay, from the beginning to the end, he's just not going to do right. Or they're not going to do right. This whole city falls. Then you have instances like Sodom and Gomorrah. You have Noah. But even the Avengers Ultron had made fun of this, which was funny because Stan Lee had a lot to do with that as well, and had put that subtle joke in there that asked Noah, it's not a simple situation of, well, if we get rid of all these humans, well, we don't have any more problems. Well, you don't have anything. When God said, let there be light, he could have just left it the way that it was. That's not peace. Oh, the quiet darkness, that's peace. No, that's the man's understanding of what he portrays as peace. And even the fact of what we consider to be peaceful only lasts for moments. Because if you don't believe that, Just look at the feeling that you get if you were to sit in a room. When you come home from work, you sit down on the couch, you're like, oh, yes, the TV's off, nothing's happening. That's peace for you because you're coming from a stressful situation that is better that nothing's happening. That's peace. But if it continues, well, then it feels more like torment, doesn't it? Because you get bored. Like, man, I wish there was something to do other than just lay here. Then you go into, well, I'll play video games. Well, after a while, even those get bored.
Yeah,
The human situation says that man's life will be short but have trouble, is because he's always looking for the next new thing. If you don't believe that, you can also look into the story of the Garden of Eden, of why did they feel that they had to eat the apple in the first place. It's easy for any of us to say, well, yeah, if I was Adam, I wouldn't have done that. We could have came up with a bunch of theories, but we don't know how good life is until you do something and mess it up. Like, oh, I want to be, almost everyone might know I wish I was a grown up. And then you grow up and it's like, I wish I could be 6 years old again. In fact, nothing's going to stop me because I'm an adult. Let me act 6 years old and it doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But man is always having to adapt because of that's just how his life has gone ever since he ate that apple. Because once he proved that he always kept looking for the next big thing, such as an apple that he shouldn't have eaten from, he didn't have to, had a whole garden to eat from. Then he goes out, well, I'm going to eat it anyway. So you're always searching for something. Well, I need shelter. Well, I need this. I need this. Once your physiological needs are met, then you go into well, it would be nice to have someone, a clique to belong to. Then it's, well, now I want some form of self-affirmation. All right. Then then you start seeking power and other things. It's a greed. And when there's, like this, unfortunately, that greed doesn't get anywhere. And that greed spawns from boredom. Even why do you think that they say money can't buy happiness? Because they're looking for peace, but a lot of them don't find it.
Yeah, because money buys the next big thing.
And they think that money will give them that sense of peace that they look for, but it often doesn't, and it can drive you crazy. No, if you want biblical connotation, that's why they say that God will give you peace, because that's really the only person that can, because He knows what you need. And when this life is over, that you keep it, because you're going to encounter troubles anyway, that your ultimate peace will be heaven. That is why. That's just the brief summary of where peace is spawning from.
Yeah, I imagine somebody being in paradise talking about. I could only imagine the fear that would come in paradise if you were like, man, I'm bored, and out of nowhere, God just looks down and is like, bored.
Well, let me say
no. Let me. I just told you it's from greed. Boredom spawns from greed. I wanted this calm. Now I'm not satiated with this calm anymore. Now that we need to, we can conquer. Why do you think Dad talks about it often? You had conquerors within and throughout history of, why weren't they just content in their normal place? They had more than enough land because of greed.
Let me put my input.
This used to be good for me. Now it's not. What, Matthew?
Let me put my input on this. It is not in our jurisdiction. It is not in our allowance that we can name what is peace. That is only up to God and for you. This is only our combined minds trying to say.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, mine is not based on elimination and devastation. Like, where did that come from?
I never said devastation or elimination. I just said
I don't like the good versus evil thing. It's not that simple. If anyone harmed you boys, I guarantee your dad and mom would send them meet their maker does that not make them evil? I'd say no. The thing exactly. There's different things throughout just human history that goes into that. We don't know what makes a person truly evil
I mean,
or truly horrible.
technically, you
We
could break
only
it down even further, Teddy. Because think about it. Would you blame a father bear protecting its kin? Would you blame a wolf mother
okay.
attacking
The other
someone
thing
who
is,
attacked their kin?
If they ate my dog, then yes, I'm killing you.
Think
the
about it.
other
They might have
thing
been
is
hungry.
that you're getting into philosophy. Philosophy.
Yeah,
All right.
we better back up. If we get too far, then we'll
You know,
start
you're
talking.
getting
Then we'll have to go back in.
philosophical theories such as utilitarianism, such as which claims that the good of everyone, if you seek the good for everyone, that's what determines good, instead of the other, where it's ego based, is only good for you. But the
But you're
problem
forgetting
is,
about the most important one, Teddy. Religious base. You
the
know,
problem is there's a
God
mixture.
wills it.
No, Sean Anthony. It's never. It's the principles that were placed within philosophy is exactly like what Eric has said, because it's not a straightforward line between good and evil. You don't. We have God. That's why people have turned to that, because God ultimately determines it. You hear it all the time. Well, only God can judge me, because only He knows why. Like if it's easy to go and say, well, He burned this whole village. For the generation that came up with video games, the easiest way to explain it would be Kratos. If you were wronged severely, made a covenant and had these promises made, and then they go and have mess with your mind, slay your family, then was Kratos not the whole game? First 3 God of War games, you could be like, Jesus, this man is evil.
Yes,
but when you look at the story, you understand why it's happening. Well, if you were, but here's the thing:
no spoilers.
When this game is years old,
Bro, the game is years old.
When God of War, in God of War, he killed Poseidon, and all of Olympus was flooded. Those were normal mortals, and all these people running because they're trying to run away to escape the devastation of Olympus.
Murder only brings destruction.
They could have, the people down below could have said, "This is horrible evil that's happening right now," and that Kratos is causing. But if you understood why, you realize.
Hold on. If you understood Greek mythology, you realize that crap could have happened anyway. Because what you realize with the Greek gods is they kind of didn't care. They would be like, "Oh, this person's really down here living their best life right now. Give him a burden. Give him a weight to bear."
As an example, not the actual Greek mythology, because everyone has played that game, and everyone who has played the God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. You're pretty much talking about
I'll let you go.
Yeah, because I get what you're kind of saying here. You're saying that as you might see it as a just cause, but think about it. But the ends kind of don't justify the means of what you're doing, because you might be thinking, well, the means for me is good. This is lawful. This is just. But the ends for everybody else is, this honestly caused more devastation to me than anything else.
Yes, that's exactly what.
Yes, and let me let me do a real quick summary for anybody that just joined. Yes, I'm doing this. So basically, what Teddy just talked about was how with murder only brings devastation and problems. And yeah, Papa, you can
killing Greek gods.
Yeah.
anything that is because
Because
all of it usually has a golden rule of do unto others that you want to be done unto you.
yeah,
Because
but
and why is that like that? Because everyone in their own mind has that bias of I'm right. It don't matter what you say or what you do. That
But
as
hold on, that kind of falters a bit because think about it. If you do unto others what you have done unto you, I think under the circumstances, if I did something absolutely horrendous and I didn't want this crap done unto me, I wouldn't have done the thing in the first place.
yeah,
Say what you want, but
a
at
lot of
that
people
point,
don't think like that. Unfortunately, and me and Dad were just watching this last night about on the History Channel because you can stream everything now, and some of the worst tortures that had happened, and it was in the Dark Ages, as we know as the Inquisition, when you had those that, well, if they didn't convert, no, nobody expected any of that. And why do we say that? Because it was unspeakable, almost sudden evil that was happening to these people. You weren't really trying to kill them; you were trying to break them. These There's things like this that they disassociated themselves from the reality of I wouldn't do this to myself, but I'll do it to you to save you. That is There's always that pretense of, well, I'm doing right because even if it's under the saying that you say because God wills it or because it's in my best interest or I will gain from it somehow, there's always that human bias of, well, I'm in the right here and I'll just keep justifying it. That's where the line between good and evil is blurred because in our own minds, yeah, everything's good. But what determines actual evil and good then? That's why this has been a standpoint on philosophy for years. And I'm not just talking 80 something years, it's been hundreds, if not 1,000 years. This has been talked about for a while.
yeah,
because it was always in question, well, if we just got rid of the sinners, like in the Inquisition, or no, we won't do that. We can just, because that was the original plan, because that was a tyrant. He was not for Christians at all. Well, if we could make them convert, well, how would you make them do that? Torture. And thus, Inquisition age, the Dark Ages. You had things that, well, I won't, we're going to make them do what they tell us. Or you had ways that it was to brutalize somebody in a way that you would never want to stray again anyway.
Let me just so basically what I want to real quick just say is the best way I would like to put your whole entire conversation is you can't really get at peace without torture and torture.
What?
And
torture.
torture.
What you just said is the opposite of all of that.
You took the whole thing away because it didn't. That was not what we said at all.
No, I was trying to say, and torture doesn't bring peace.
Yeah.
None of what Teddy just said brought peace. What it caused was revolt and downfall of many things.
What I don't know where you got from that. Like, the Inquisition age did not. None of the things that happened in the Dark Ages. It was called that for a reason. But peace. It was under the guise of, well, God wills it, and the fact of, well, if we do this, we can have what we want. None of that brought peace. But unfortunately,
to me, it did sort of.
Yeah. No, I can assure you, if you go back and read what happened in the Dark Ages, Matthew, that's where we get. If you were to even look up what happened with the Blood Eagle, which some ways we always think, and I know because we read your same history book, that, well, it was about these torture things and these. No, it wasn't just tortures. It was also brutalizations because it was.
I forgot about
It's like a hand on a pike. It's to instill fear of you don't want this to happen to you, so do what we say or else. But again,
that. Yeah, I forgot about
fear
that
and
part.
domination is not peace. Well, we're going to scare you into doing what we want to keep the peace. That's not what that is.
Yeah,
That's why
I
you
forgot about
have.
that part for a minute.
That's why
So-
you have God in your mindset, because they all. It's not just the word. That's really why I'm trying to drive home with this conversation. Is when people say that God gives you peace, that's not just a cliche. What they're saying is that's about the only person that can judge you, because only He knows what's in your heart, what has happened in your life, who has played your God of War story and understood. He didn't have to do this. We're gonna judge him for that.
Well,
But this, I understand why he did this, and he didn't need to do that, because enemies also come back. If at any moment you stop, we found that out with the People's Grocery that Dad often mentions. They put the guns down, and they decided, oh, okay, well, they stopped and decided to just let them have it, because how dare you in the first place? It's always situations like that.
all right, Ted. Before we end the show off on a gloomy note, let's try to clear the air with talking about actual things that meant.
I wouldn't say it's a gloomy note. I'd say that that's the truth right there, because
Okay,
to show you,
let me
hold on, because to show you that that's important, you need to think about the fact that Dad, throughout history, the history that you have both written down for school and the history that Dad has put in his book, which I hope everybody got, is that it is very important that you continue the effort, because as soon as you stop, somebody is going to come in and they're going to decide for you that you will stop, and there will be no peace after that.
Because again, when you allow tyrants in that have their own guise of peace, well, in order to be great, in order to have peace, we're going to do this. Because remember, it always has a good connotation, don't it, Sean Anthony? Like we knew that for a while. Like even when you had mentioned, what was it? Eric had mentioned how to get rid of the Hitlers. Well, what did Hitler end up doing? We know what he did, but the guys was, well, he's gonna reconstruct Germany. He's gonna do this. But when tyrants get in, and then hate gets in, unfortunately,
I go long before that, because you know what they taught me in school? There was one quote that always sticks out to me, and it was from a person. I forget what they were, but I think that they were a king. And you know what they said? It's because think about it, it's the mindset that gets in first. And what this person said was, if you can't rule with love, rule with fear. It's best to do it with both, but both is not always good. But the thing about both is it's not going to always be possible.
All right. Papa, today was a glorious day. We talked about some very factual things. And then I'm hoping in next episode I can get this PowerPoint done so we can go deeper into doom and gloom, because that's what this whole entire episode was. But
it's talking about peace.
It was factual. I can't lie about that. It was factual, and it was.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, there it is.
Machiavelli, because I was like, wasn't that Mussolini? No, it's not Mussolini. It's Machiavelli. It's another him. And the thing is, that didn't work out for them either.
It's never worked out.
Hold on, Teddy. All right. Ooh, dang.
Yep, you got rid of the banner instead of putting it up. That's what that spell was.
I don't know.
Lifted nothing up.
All right.
But that has been our hour. Yes, I believe it was a good show. We got to deal.
And yes, Dad.
We need to talk to you because
I hate to tell you, Matthew, but you started to sound like the people we were just talking about. Everything flew over your head, and you like torture, destruction.
Yeah, we
gotta obtain peace for me.
We gotta talk to you. We gotta have an intervention of some sort.
But
I don't know where you got any of that from.
Midway through, I then remembered a few things, but we're not gonna talk about that. But anyway.
Yeah,
Dad, I am looking forward for your birthday. Hopefully, I can get out and try to get you something.
That's not birthday.
Father's Day, Matthew. Father's Day.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm looking forward to the Father's Day episode as well. All the fathers that are out there, we will see you then. And Mom's show should be on right after that, actually. So
yes, and I will try to get you something, Dad. And if I can't, I will try to craft something.
What you mean, Matthew? We'll just give him another Best Dad trophy.
So, until we see you next time, have a happy Father's Day.
Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and follow our Twitter, Twitch.
No, we're not going through this again.
And
do the jazz.